Hi, welcome to day 9 of Garden Guns. Whew, day 9. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Unfortunately, not the Daystate Huntsman. This is one of my favourite rifles, this. Mind you, having said that, I think they're all my favourite. Yeah, this is here for prop usage only. What we're actually talking about is rests. Just the basic introduction to rests. You can get these anywhere. These are ranging from anywhere from, I've seen them online for like £9 up to 160 or 170 pounds. I think a good resting system, or a basic system, dedicated system to rest off is really important. Certainly it helps with zeroing the air rifle. I find, it definitely helps with the fun that I have shooting out at distance, going 40, 50, 60 yards plus, having something nice and stable to rest the rifle on to help you get those long shots. Just for me anyway, it adds that added level of enjoyment and takes the frustration out of it. I don't have a lot of time anymore. Most of the time I'm tired or hyped up on caffeine and shaking like a leaf due to a mixture of caffeine and exhaustion. So I need something that's going to help me maximise the enjoyment I have when I do get 5 minutes to go and plink in the back garden, or I get the ability, the actual time to go down the range. I don't want to have the frustration of sitting there and watching everything do this. But anyway, so starting off with the cheap. So you've got stuff like this, which you can pick up for around about a tenner on in Amazon or eBay. And then you go into something like this, the Milbro system. This is anywhere from like 14 to 20 quid. Normally it comes with two parts. It comes with a little rest as well, rear rest as well, which is what that is. And this is the forerest. I fill my bean bags, although I've not filled that, I fill my bean bags with that white Katzang cat litter, because we've got a cat and we've got old unused cat litter, but when she's ill, or she's had to go to the vet and she's not allowed out, we still need to use a tray. She's an outdoor cat most of the time. We still need to use a tray, so I was like, right, cat litter, and it has worked really, really well, right up to the point that this bag has got so holy now, it does just puff cat litter out at me and all over my kit. So I do need to get off my backside and change these bags over. Unfortunately, and this is the difference, this is a cheapo bag. As I said, it was about a tenner. Well, I got this second hand actually off in the shop for a £5, but I think you can get them for around about 10 quid, 15 quid. These are a little bit more, and you can see the difference. This bag is made better than that bag, and I think these bags go up to anywhere up to 50 quid, and that's the main sort of difference, is probably the workmanship, materials that you use, and a lot of the time, you're probably paying a little bit more for the name on the bag as well. If it's a Cadwell bag or something along those lines, you're definitely paying 45, 50 quid for those bags, I think. Having said that, you don't need to spend that sort of money. It's your money, spend it how you want. If you're sort of at the lower end of the pocket money scale, then you can pick something up for not a huge amount of money that will more than adequately do the job. The nice thing about these bean bags is if you fill them with the right medium, it provides you with a really sort of a solid and heavy base. So it provides you with a really good, stable resting solution. And the reason I use the cat litter is because it's a heavy medium, but it is, because it's granulated, it is very malleable, which allows me to use the bag there we go, puffing, however I want, whether it's up like that, down like that to support it, to use it as a rear rest, or up like that for when I'm shooting springers to rest my hand on with the rifle, to use as a forerest, a foregrip rest. For those of you that have watched my videos, you'll know that I tend to use it in conjunction with this thing. And this is my Porter aim rest. And I find that basically if you're shooting PCPs off a table, or down the club off a bench or something, this Porter aim rest has been an absolute, it's brilliant. I absolutely love it. It's got the ability to adjust height by pulling up the top slide, and that just allows you to raise and lower the grip how you want, and then you just drop the top slide down, and that locks it in place. If you need to change the tension, then it's down to this thing here. It's down to the nut down there. So and then that basically allows you to change the tension on the raising and lowering mechanism. The main issue I've got with this grip is that I tend to find it not so good with springers due to the large cutout. It's absolutely fantastic for PCPs. I tend to shoot, as you'll see, I shoot it like that. But for springers, I tend to find, even though you can, I do sort of rest my hand on it like that. It is okay. I prefer to just use my standard beanbag, to be honest. But as I say, the main boon for me is for zeroing my PCPs, for doing these videos when I'm using a PCP, because I want to take my mistakes, my shakes out of the video. I work nights and drink far too much coffee because I'm constantly fatigued due to working nights and not sleeping properly. So, quite a lot of the time, especially if I've just come off night shift and only had like 3 or 4 hours sleep and I'm doing a video, you can see the shakes in the video, especially after, two Americano coffees. So yeah, to take any element out of that, I find a rest absolutely, it's basically something that I can't live without. It also allows me to maximise my time down the range. I don't get a lot of time anymore, as I say, what with working nights. So when I'm at home, I want to make sure that when the family's around, I spend time with them. I shoot these videos when they're all out, either at school or my wife works part-time and she's working as well. So I shoot these videos then. And then, the time when I do get to go down the range, or I do get to sit in the garden, I'm lucky if I can get half an hour or so, and I want to maximise that shooting enjoyment. And sitting there getting frustrated with me missing because, I'm wobbling everywhere is, I don't want to, it's not fun missing all the time. So having a decent rest to shoot out to 60-70 odd yards is something that just levels up that enjoyment and allows me to relax and work on my breathing and work on my trigger technique with a stable sight picture, rather than sitting there and trying to deal with all of the other physical ineptitudes that I have. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't practice freehand shooting. I certainly need to do a lot more of it. But once again, I shoot for fun, I shoot for my own enjoyment, and I like to shoot 50, 60 yards, shoot spinners and small targets, and just generally work on being outside and enjoying the sound of the birds, and working on calming myself down with my breathing. I find shooting exceptionally good for my mental health. And getting frustrated because I'm missing all the time, because I've mistimed the shot or something, is not going to help me relax. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Enough about that, let's move on to the final thing. Oh, sorry, the Porter Aim. I don't know if I've mentioned it. If I have, I'm sorry, but I'll mention it again. The Porter Aim is around about £45. Once again, money well spent. It's a great little system. Fits into your shooting bag, no problem. I've got a 25 quid shooting bag from, I think they're called Combat. I just bung everything, pellets, rests, pass. I bung it all in one bag that I can just lob in the back of the car with the gun bag and a few tins of pellets or some ammunition or something, and head off down the range and go and have some fun. And something like this is brilliant because it just folds down and goes in with everything else. So that's £45-50. Then we get on to the really expensive thing. And this by no means is the most... I've looked at shooting sticks like this and they're £400-500 online. But this particular model, which is the, what they call it, the Jim Shockley Primos Trigger Stick Gen 3. This is a tripod-based system, and this thing, I got it. I think they're around about anywhere from 150 to 170 quid, depending on where you go. For those of you that shoot out in the field, or if you're out doing night vision work, these things are an absolute game changer. Or at least this particular model was an absolute game changer. The first time I ever went out and shot. Did some ratting doing night vision work, I used a bipod, and yes, it was better than trying to shoot freehand, you know, but yeah, it was still wobbly. Having a tripod really helped. And then I saw these things, and these things are amazing. Basically, they're trigger operated. So rather than sitting there and having to pull them down, all you do is pull your trigger and then set the legs out to how you want them. And I would then suggest basically raising it, rather than starting up high and lowering it. I would suggest starting low and raising it up to roughly the height that you want, making sure that you've got a good stable platform. And then bingo, you are good to go. So yeah, 150 quid, I thought that was money well spent. They're well made. This particular brand seems to be well made. I've had no problems with it. It has lasted me so far 3 years. Oh Christ, I thought that was going to go. Lasted me 3 years so far. I use it out in the field with my 1.7 and my 1.7 HMR and my 2.2 rimfire, and I use it for ratting at night, mainly with the R10. I do need to take the FX out and use that, but it's yeah, I've been using the FX sort of a lot more based off a bipod, as in you know, it's an integral bipod on the front of the rifle rather than a movable bipod. So yeah, I would highly recommend anybody that shoots out in a field, or anybody that shoots, you know, shooting across, that doesn't have any way to be able to rest, you know, that doesn't have a rest or wants that extra level of stability. This is money well spent. Speak to your significant other or your very good friend and see if you can possibly get them to buy you one of those. That was actually a present from my company. I did 15 years of service with the company that I'm currently working with, and they gave me an Amazon voucher, which basically paid for those. Anyway, that's it, day 9. I think that's all said and done. Day 10 next. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the videos, and I look forward to the next one. Cheers.